Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, so what we've got here, um, we've discussed the drag dart being changed to a 4 to 6S race, and this is what we've done. So uh, how I got to the measurements, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to pull the frame back over here. Whoop, bump into stuff. And let's see if I can kind of show you what I did. Is I took off this front, knocking stuff over. Took off this front suspension so that I could get the paper laid right up to it. This whole thing laid flat on the surface, and then I just put the paper up to it. And with all of that, I had the motor on, the whole transmission on, but I marked where things are located. That is these lines. So this here is actually this rail. This is the bottom. So that's where I want the body to go to, is just the bottom of this. If I want to, I can make it a little bit more if I feel. But that's the references. So that's there. The ESC is here. Receiver is over here. The servo, all that. Let me get this away. Stop knocking stuff over. So with that basic information of stuff there, this is a mark to show the top of where the body for the Bandit, for the Bandit basically attaches. So that's that basically hole, put a pin through it, all that stuff. So that's just that reference. So based off of that, I knew I could come down here, miss the servo, and then come down. This is the front bulkhead. So that'll kind of create that look to it, which is fine. We cut a little recess here, right in here, to because the servo hangs down, and then the steering arms come out from there. So we need some clearance for the steering arms, and it'll clear the receiver. It's actually shallower, the receiver. We need the space for all the connections for the servo and the ESC, so we get a little extra height there. I want to do kind of that buggy body where it steps down, so this line here is all on the same level. That is basically this, where it'll come in and then angle that entire way, which will look nice. Look really nice. And then the cockpit area, so I originally was going to do a scoop up here and have it kind of more like this. I decided not to do that for a couple different reasons. Number one, it's easier to do flat panels, especially when you start doing angles. I was going to look forward to doing this kind of an arch, but it just didn't lean the way I wanted to. The scoop up this way. Then I realized I could put scoops on the side to bring air in, and do one on each side. That'll bring air in to keep cooling the ESC, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to come straight. And the other reason why I'm going in straight panels is I only have 10 inches full length before I then have to marry two pieces together, which is not a big deal. I expect to do that. It's just where is it going to happen, and trying to make it happen where joints are, where natural joints are. So we're going to lean in and angle the side window. It'll give it a more of a nicer look. It's going to bring air in just great, and then we're going to taper back in the back, coming straight and straight, not this arch, but this straight right here, and then coming straight back down where the vent is here. And then, of course, I'm going to have some structure in here, in here, and here to hold up and give the exact angle of everything. So it helps lock things in, which is very important. You want to make sure you're setting things up right. So this will be a piece that has the angle and is exactly the right width at the top and length at the bottom. And then I can use these pieces to put on center and basically put in a piece here, and then probably a full piece in here to square it up. Then it creates a good structure that I can have this roof come straight onto. It keeps it all nice and straight, plus it'll have the angle on it that I need for that side window to slightly angle from the top, which will be flat. So it just makes it much nicer, easier to do. It's going to look really sharp because it's going to have this whole angular feel to the whole thing. And of course we do a cutout here because we're trying to get it as close to the shock tower as possible. But what that means is the shocks will come out, because this is our center line of the whole thing, so it'll be this wide. So our shocks end up needing a spot to go into as they go down and attach to the legs, to the lower A-arms in the rear. So that's the way that we go through stuff. That's how I go through designing. I shouldn't have inked in. Excuse me. Okay. Shouldn't have inked this in. And then I could have just gone in and done it with the pencil. But that's fine. This is sometimes what happens. You get a lot of lines. You just need to kind of clarify things, and that's what the ink did initially. But I think the more angular is really I think it's gonna look better. We'll have a nice flat roof here. This will angle down to here and stop, and then that's a flatter angle going down from there. And everything, we got angle here, so I'm angling it there. I'm kind of lining this up with where the window will be. So you get that kind of a line. And out to here, I am, what did I say, 2.5? 3. So I'm 3 inches out with the body, basically. So that's going to double to 6 inches on the other side. So if I line that up, so that's 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So from here to here, be a nice wide body. Inside of the wheels, which is important. We don't want rubbing going on. Also with this flatter roof, with the wing coming out over here, it just gives it better airflow to the wing. So another reason for taking that scoop out. Although it was going to look really good, if this was a 10th scale body that I was designing, I would bring it down so it wouldn't interfere with that wing and do the design. So basically the design is you got your flat roof like this, you got it angling down on the sides, and you do a scoop. See that center? So you do a scoop that comes out and goes down like that on top of it. This would be your window, of course. So yeah, decided not to do that. It's good to get flow through on these things. This ESC does have a fan. I've run this many times on 3S, and the fan's never gone off. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen on 4S with this. If that fan ends up turning on, it ends up getting some heat. We won't know till we do some testing. So, yeah. So that's the whole idea here. Having that kind of come into this wedge shape. Going down. Reminiscent of, I think it's basically going to look like an 8th scale Bandit. That's what I think it's going to look like. So, yeah. So anyways, this is how I come up with my designs. Again, I use this grid so much because I can lay this down and line up lines, line up marks by taking my ruler, lay it down, and go like that and go, okay, now I've got a straight line. So I can transfer this mark over here, which is what I did, to get, I'm a little off, there we go. There. So I transferred my mark over for where that roof line then changes, and it's right where the vent starts. So, yeah, transferring it up. It's basically what we were taught in drafting to do, right? So if you're going to draw a side view, then transfer all these measurements, all these little lines and spots, and put them so that now you're looking down. And in this case, you know, I didn't have the paper, so we designed only the half. This is our center line. We'll put that on there. That's how you know that's a center line. Everything works off of that and mirrors on the other side. So from that I can take my piece, know that 3 is the furthest out I'm going to be. So I can go from the edge of my styrene, measure 3 inches, go down the other end, measure 3 inches, draw a line across, and that's my center line. So any measurements I do on this side, I do on that side. And I could also take the piece then and measure another 3 inches from the center line, put a mark, do the same on the other side, and then cut that. So I've got an exact 6-inch by 10-inch piece, and then that's going to allow me to do this first piece and find out where it's going to go. So let's see. If I did that, 10 inches puts that split mark right about there. Okay, so it's not optimal, that's for sure. Definitely not optimal. If I did another inch, I could get it to that section, which is going to be much better. So if I take an inch off of that, it's going to stop it here, right there, and then it won't interfere with my shock. It's basically what I got here. Just have that, and then we'll just have this end off. This won't be there. That's not bad. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. Let's see, if I erase this, this is why, again, doing everything in pencil. Do this so we know that this is a vent. Yeah, I don't hate that. That lets me do a 10-inch piece to here instead. So we'll take that mark away. And we'll put a 10 here. That's going to let us know that's 10. And from there, I know we're not going to have, make sure I'm in camera here. Okay. I'm thinking out loud and bringing you all along with me. So then this would be 10. The only thing is I don't like where 10 hits. Do I? Maybe I do. Let's see. Kind of make sure the bottom's even. And we're going to get close to that. Even up our... Oh. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right? Yeah, that's right. Crazy. So that's perfect. So we'll have a piece here that'll have our measurement. It'll end at, I think that's going to be 1 1/4, so probably 2.5 wide, and then we go 2.5 wide down to what this is. Yeah, then we have those two pieces. We marry them. They marry here, so that's perfect. It won't interfere with the receiver or anything. And then that's also where angle starts. So good. All happy stuff. The only downfall is this is going to have to be separate than that, because I don't think it will reach with that bend. Of course, we'll try it, see if it works, but doubtful, because if this swings, just to show. So we're here. If this swings, it goes 1/8 of an inch. Is more of what we need. We'd have to lose 1/8 of an inch back here, which maybe we will. I won't know till we play around. So having enough material to play around is the key. We're also just under 3 there to 2 5/8. Yep. So that's got a slope to it too. Just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I mean it's 2.5 there, so that's perfect. Yeah, everything's got an angle, so definitely getting the measurements down and getting them close, super important. We are going to round the corners, so it's really important to take all the edges where they meet at the 90, and we'll probably put some, a support here, 90 degree to keep it square. And then of course as we come out we can hit a couple on each panel just to make sure we're square. Keeps the walls square. Doing this joint will definitely help this joint too. It'll help keep it square, because if your pieces are square, having two pieces that meet force them to be in a fixed position, and that's going to be square, and as it ends up being, which is nice. So we use that as our friend, which is why if we can do a bend here, single piece with a bend, it's better for us. We can heat this, take it to the edge, make sure that our lines are met up, and you bend it. You just bend it right on like a table edge. Squarer the better. And you can get a nice clean bend that'll hold. And then you can, yeah, for this it's such a tiny amount that it has to do, but we're going to heat that so that it bends. We want it to naturally take the shape and not force it in and then use the glue to force it to stay. We want it to already kind of be there and just kind of ease itself into the shape that we want to do. So super important with that it just, if you're going to do a long piece with a break in it, ease it, you know. So we got 10 to there. We can do, again, we're easing stuff, so we're going to ease this, and we're going to end our piece here and do the back piece as a separate piece. That'll just marry up to it, which is fine because this window ends here. So even though we won't be bending the window down, although that might be a whole different ball of wax and rabbit hole to go down, making sure about those measurements. So the biggest thing I'm trying to avoid is, if I took this into a design software and I gave it these measurements, these kind of plans, well, it knows what all these are and how much this has to change if it's bent there to, if you lay it flat, what it's going to look like. So, excuse me. If you can do pieces like that, definitely makes it, well, the biggest problem I guess now as I'm looking at it would be doing this point where it comes down to the point. That becomes a problem, which is why we're doing this as a separate panel. So the way I build it is, again, I build this box, then I come and do the bent roof, make sure that I can make sure everything's centered this way, which is really important. If my piece is exactly 2 inches, well, then, this inner box, and then it comes out this much, well, when I go to put this piece down, I know my corners, and I just center it, glue it down. Then I can take this piece, oversize it a little bit, glue it on so it's leaning onto it, and again, our structure here places it right where it needs to be, and we glue it, and it should be perfect matching. So then when we take this whole piece, and again, while we're doing this is all one piece. Okay, it's going to be one thick piece going all the way through. We're then going to take the top and place it on, and then we'll make marks and come in and remove a piece in here for the ESC fan to suck in air. Okay, that's the real key. If I center this up really nice, I could go through and mark this exact thing, come across, and open all of that up. I really only need to go to here. So yeah, I'll put that wall in, and then I can just open that whole thing up. Open it all the way out. That way, it just pushes the air to the ESC, and then it escapes out the back. That's the whole key. So this comes down, it links into, this will be where the pin is, and all the air can come out this way. And this is nice now to have that open, gives it an easier way to come around with the shock tower there. It gives it a blow-by to get rid of that extra. Again, we don't know if we're going to overheat, but that we're designing it that way, right? Of course, this is the window. This is the new window right here. Coming here this way and then down, up this way over. This isn't there. This isn't here. Yeah. So I just keep checking out the design, doing different things. I got the basic design, which went out, and I realized I had to create room for the shock. And so we did that little thing, and then we realized 10 inches, where does that sit, so we can create a flat piece. And when I cut this, this piece will be all the way through here. You know, one triangular piece to there. And then, of course, out and triangular. It's going to be interesting, going to be fun. Yeah, we get our two lengths, and then whatever this is to there is what it is. Whatever, if it's a sharp angle or more of a sloped angle. Yeah. All right. Next thing to do is we get tracing paper. In my case, what I use is baking paper, the baking sheet, whatever that stuff is. I can't find it right now. It's basically this stuff you use to put on a pan if you're baking. Well, this is the beauty of it, is you can put it down as tracing paper. So I can tape it down over my design and then press on my design and basically get an idea of the design, what it'll look like. So if I've made mistakes, then I can come through, tape this down, and start going, okay, no, it's going to end here, it's going to go to here. This is what, so I can get rid of all these darker lines and only have what I want. So I'm going to trace it, and then I'll put the camera on and you can see the result. Okay, so as you can see, we taped it down. If you use this cooking sheet stuff, the tape doesn't want to stick to it, so you just kind of use it in 4 places to capture it and be really light. Try not to move things, but when you're done, what you end up with is a drawing of what the actual thing's going to look like. So hopefully you can see that. We can darken it up a bit here. Yeah, that shows up a little bit better. Here's our differences. I think it's going to look good. It'll sit big. That's the important part. We want it to look scale. And yeah, much easier to build this than anything else. Yep. Nice part too is the way things are getting set up here. I can build the front half here and then the back half here, and then they'll marry up, which I think will be really easy, very clean, straightforward. Yeah. All right. That's how I do my design, come up with the design, then from here I can figure out how many pieces I will need. Obviously, measure one side, double that because you got two sides, and don't forget to do the top. You know, yeah, it's going to be a good design. It's going to be strong. I think as I make more bodies and do this kind of thing, I want to improve in some way, shape, or form with the process, with how I do it, with all that stuff. So one of the things we did not mention was because our 10 hits here, that's going to mark our side, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this piece come to here, and I'm going to seam it here and let that be a natural seam. So that'll just kind of hide away. Actually, I could do it. The wheel comes in here. I could do it in here instead. Let's do that. It'll be easier to hide it if there is any imperfection or you see it. Hide it behind the wheel. That'll be there. But mainly the thing is I want to step it. I don't want this to be, that tip to just be its own little joint that pops in, right? I want to seam things and do it kind of like a puzzle piece so that everything interlocks with itself. Wherever possible, obviously. So, yeah, that's my plan. That's how I'm going to do it. And I'll take you along on the journey. I'm probably going to end this video. This is just about the design, and we'll go into how to take this design, transfer it onto pieces, and make a working shell. Alright, till then, go make it. You can do it. It's not that hard. So go make it. We'll talk to you next time. Like and subscribe. If you like what's going on here, drop me a comment. Let me know that you like this and you want to see more. So I'm happy to do it. I just don't know what to feed people. What's worth the time, you know. So help me shape this channel into stuff that you like to watch. All right. Till next time. Go make it.